Can you believe it? One of the biggest lab accidents of the 20th century might be stuck to your refrigerator right now. In 1968, at 3M, a chemical engineer named Spencer Silver was trying to invent an ultra-strong adhesive for the aerospace industry. The vision sounded ambitious, a glue capable of holding aircraft components at 10,000 meters, where temperatures can plunge to 50 degrees Celsius colder than your freezer at home. He was aiming to create a polymer monster. What he got was the complete opposite. An adhesive so weak, you could peel it off with one finger. No torn paper. No residue. No one impressed. If this were a Hollywood movie, this would be the moment the main character gets fired. Real life was harsher in a quieter way. The project was shelved. No one knew what to do with the weakest glue in history. And that's where the real question begins. How does a laboratory failure turn into a global symbol of memory? Spencer Silver didn't give up. He traveled from one internal 3M seminar to another, presenting his unusual adhesive. It wasn't super strong. It wasn't permanent. It stuck just enough. You could peel it off. You could stick it again. Imagine being his colleague at the time.
A failure
You're developing
that
industrial
works.
tapes.
Look, it holds,
abrasives,
yet lifts right off.
medical materials.
The
And then
adhesive
someone
provides a strong
stands up
hold,
and
yet
says,
as I demonstrate now, it
I have a
separates
glue
cleanly upon request,
that doesn't
leaving
really
no
stick.
trace behind.
It sounded useless.
By
5 years
manipulating the
passed.
quantum layer,
5 years is
the
long
tape
enough for a
becomes
child to finish
self-mending.
kindergarten. For a
And you're
research
sure
project,
this is stable
it
above
can feel
freezing.
like a death sentence.
We've
Then one
achieved
day,
a perfect balance.
another
It
3M
holds,
colleague,
yet separates
Art Fry,
cleanly
faced a
every
very
time.
ordinary problem.
This changes
He
how we
sang
think
in his
about
church
adhesion.
choir. The
Weak
paper bookmarks
adhesive?
in his hymn book kept
That
slipping
sounds
out every
completely
time he
useless,
turned
right?
a page.
Who
He
needs
needed something
that
to
barely
hold his
sticks?
place without tearing the paper. Suddenly, that weak adhesive became perfect. There were no fireworks, no dramatic soundtrack, just a simple human need, keeping track of a song. And that's when the definition of success began to shift. Art Fry coated a small piece of paper with Silver's adhesive. He placed it in his hymn book. It stayed put. When he removed it, the page wasn't damaged. He stuck it on again. Still fine. This was no longer a failed glue. It was a tool. Strangely enough, the product didn't solve any grand problem of humanity. It didn't cure disease. It didn't travel to space. It didn't connect the internet. It simply helped you remember to buy milk, to call your mother back, to capture an idea that flashes through your mind at 2 a.m. And because it was so small, it slipped into every corner of daily life. 3M first launched the product in 1977. The result? Disappointingly low sales. People didn't understand why they should buy a piece of paper with glue. They already had paper. They already had tape. So 3M did something smart. They gave it away for free to offices.
We
Once
mastered
people tried it,
replication,
they
but
began
not
to rely
redemption.
on it. You know that feeling. Once you're used to sticking a reminder on your computer screen, it's hard to go back. By 1980, the product officially launched nationwide under the name Post-it Notes. Revenue began to grow exponentially, not gradually, but doubling and doubling again, like compound interest in a bank account. 1 R S Y Schiller. From a forgotten failure, it became a billion-dollar industry. But if you think the story ends there, wait. What truly makes Post-it special isn't just its accidental history. It's the hidden physical structure inside. Under a microscope,
Experience the future
Post-it
of audio.
adhesive
These
isn't
aren't
a
just
smooth
headphones.
spanity,
They are an immersion
flat layer.
experience. We have
It's
a
made of
special
millions of
launch offer
tiny
today
polymer
only.
spheres. Imagine microscopic balls packed closely together, but not melted into one solid mass.
Check
When
out
you
these
stick
new
a
neon
Post-it
stickies.
onto
They
a
won't curl up
wall,
in the printer, and the adhesive
only
is
a
super
small
strong. Wanna
portion
bring
of
that?
each
Oh, wow,
sphere
these colors are
actually
great.
touches
Thanks,
the
I'll take one
surface.
too.
Look
It's
how
like
easily it
standing on your
organizes the task.
tiptoes
This is
instead
so
of
much better
placing
than
your
the old
whole
system.
foot down.
We should use this for all our
Less
projects.
contact
Absolutely,
area
it's already
means
saving
lighter
us time.
adhesion. That's why you can peel it off without leaving a trace.
We need
These
to prioritize
spheres are
these
strong
tasks for
enough
the
not to
sprint. This one here
collapse
should
when
be
you
moved up.
remove
It's blocking
them.
the next phase.
They
Okay,
don't
I'll update
flatten
the
out
board.
like traditional glue. That's
And
why
now,
you can
ladies and
stick and
gentlemen, it is my
re-stick the note
distinct pleasure
multiple
to officially
times
introduce the
until dust and
revolutionary
dirt
new
fill the tiny
Post-it
gaps
Note.
between the
Watch this.
spheres.
Look
At
at
that
this
point,
spike. The adoption rate has
stickiness
surpassed
fades.
our most
Not
optimistic
because the glue
models,
weakens,
driving revenue straight
but because
through
it
the
gets
roof.
dirty. It may sound trivial, but this is microscopic design, serving a very human behavior, remembering,
This
and
really
when you
helps
look
visualize
back,
the whole project.
the entire
Let's move this
story
one over
feels
here.
like a perfect metaphor.
Look at all the
Silver
ideas
didn't
we've
create
generated.
what he intended. He created what he needed, he just didn't know it yet. Sometimes, success isn't about holding on the tightest. It's about knowing when to let go. So the next time you write an idea on a small yellow post-it and stick it to your desk, remember, it exists because of a failure that sat unnoticed for 5 years. Who knows? The crazy idea you just scribbled down, the one you think isn't good enough, might simply be waiting for the right place. If you enjoy stories like this, lab accidents that quietly reshape the world, perhaps we should dig deeper next time. For example, what happens when a compound as bitter as medicine ends up saving an empire? But that's a story for another episode.